was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and we were thrilled because there had been years of infertility and also two ectopic pregnancies. So it was a very wanted pregnancy. And we also had a toddler who was about 18 months old. I'd had just one visit to the OBGYN. Everything was looking great. I was only 10 weeks pregnant, so ended that first trimester. But I was noticing two things didn't seem right to me. And I was having this terrific heartburn, which was very surprising to me so early in the pregnancy. So I'd called the doctor's office several times and they said, well, every pregnancy is different and take Mylanta, that's safe to take in pregnancy. So I did by the boatload, and it was not helping. And the second thing that was happening was I was having this recurring vivid dream. And I didn't know it was a precognitive dream because I didn't know what those were. So in the dream, it was always the same. It was this terrible storm at sea. And I would see all these winches and cleats. Everything was tearing off this big ship. The masts would all fall, the ship would break in two, and it would go down. And I didn't realize that was very directly, my ship was about to go down, but I didn't understand what it was trying to tell me. And I was working at home and I just could not get comfortable. I was the only one at home. My husband was at work with one car. Our nanny was at the park with our toddler with the other car. Could not get comfortable. So I try and lie down. I go in the bathroom. I'm like, what is wrong here? Just cannot focus. And all of a sudden, I have this feeling of impending doom, which I have never had in my life before or since. So I went into the bathroom thinking, I'm going to be sick. Something's really wrong here. And instead, I got this searing pain in my abdomen. It was so bad. I looked down because I really thought there was a knife stuck in me. And I felt like something burst and I passed out on the floor. I was fortunate because I didn't get hurt falling because I was kind of crouching down going, I think I need to go for the toilet here because I felt so much pain and so weird. So I am completely passed out on the floor, and I came to only because there was this insistent male voice, and he kept saying, Wendy, you've got to wake up. You have to call for help now or you're going to go home. And I knew exactly what he meant. So I'm laying on my side and I'm looking up, and it was the shock of my life because the whole bathroom was lit up with this immense light, and there were 4 or 5 angels, and they were just huge. It's like they were like 8 or 9 feet tall, and there was so much light from them. It was incredible. And my mind was blown because I was a casual Christian, but to me, angels were like a lovely theoretical possibility. I wasn't really sure that they existed. You know, they're beautiful in art and on Christmas cards. And I wanted to believe, but this there was no arguing with. My bathroom was filled with angels. So I looked at him when he repeated that message, you've got to call for help now. And I said, I can't walk. I don't know how to get to the phone. And his answer was very interesting. He said, you just have to be willing to try. So I got up on my hands and knees was all I could manage. And once I did that, it's like I was gently picked up and flown the little bit of distance to get to the landline, because I'm in the master bath and the landline is on the nightstand in the master bedroom. It's before cell phones were glued to our hands. So call for help meant get to a phone. And I did take 1 second to think, who should I be calling? The Archangel, who I later recognized and learned was Archangel Michael, just had said call for help. So I didn't call 911 because he didn't say to do that. And I'd never called 911 in my life. If there was ever a time to call 911, that would have been it. But I called my husband, and that was reasonable because he worked 5 minutes from home. And miracles continued because I actually got him on the phone at work. That has never happened before or since. So we get to the doctor's office, and they whisk me up to their office straight into an ultrasound room. And the ultrasonographer, she's like trying to adjust the picture. And all I can see on the screen is black, which didn't make any sense to me. I'd had ultrasounds before. I mean, you're seeing organs, that's the whole point. So I asked her, I says, "Is your machine working? Is it on?" And all she said, she just touched my shoulder and she said, "I'm gonna go get the doctor." The doctor came in immediately. He's got a certified nurse midwife with him too. We've now got 5 people like squeezed in this tiny ultrasound room. And he tries adjusting, he looks at it, he looks at me and says, "You've got some major abdominal bleed going on. That's why we can't see anything on the ultrasound. That's all blood." That the physician said, "Wendy, we've got to do surgery. We've got no choice because you're officially bleeding out." And we can still see my abdomen's just getting bigger and bigger. I look like 6 months pregnant at this point, and I'm only 10 weeks pregnant. I don't even show. So I'm trying to, now that I've made this decision, signed the paperwork, and I'm trying to relax that night after dinner. You get your dinner promptly at 4 o'clock, you're in the hospital. And I'm trying to just relax and picture a positive outcome. I'm just trying to visualize the best outcome. And I'm alone in my hospital room. And the minute I do that, I pop right out of my body. The minute I visualize best outcome. And I was a little surprised at first. And then I look back at myself over my left shoulder, and I see myself in the hospital bed, and I start talking about myself and thinking of myself in third person. It's like, "Oh my gosh, she's whiter than a ghost. Oh wow, she's in really bad shape. Look at that." But I was like, "Oh, I feel wonderful. No more pain, no more, desperation, no more being scared. I feel fantastic." And I could see this white light above me coming down from the ceiling of the hospital room. So it's like, I'm going up there. She's fine. Again, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm so blasé about me. But I'm realizing I'm in pure soul form, and that's only a temporary housing. That's only an aspect of me. And right now, I'm just going to say she's safe in the bed, and I'm going up because this light is compelling. So I start floating up to see what it is. It's almost like being magnetically drawn there. And I did pause for a second because I'm like, "Oh gosh, I hope I don't have to walk through one of those long tunnels." The minute I thought that, as I'm like, "I'm just too tired. I don't think I can walk through or float through a long tunnel." The minute I thought it, this beautiful escalator came in for me, and no one else is on it. It's pristine. There's so much light coming up from it. And I'm like, "Ugh." And I just roll myself onto the escalator and go up and up and up. And I could feel like I was resting. The moment I get to the top of the escalator, there's this welcoming committee. So the same angels were there, and Archangel Michael was speaking again. But also there was soul family there. There was my soul group. All 4 of my grandparents were there. And I was so excited because they were so thrilled to see me. And they all give me this huge group hug and say, "Welcome home. We're so glad you're here. You've done nothing wrong," is what Michael said. "And you are welcome to stay." So I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's amazing," because I can't wait to have more of a reunion, and I can't wait to see everything else, but I can't really see because they're crowded at the top of that escalator, and I later realized they were holding me back. So there's about 20 of them there, and Michael says, "You're going to need to choose quickly. It is absolutely your choice, But if you want to go back, I can tell you 3 things to help you make your decision. Number 1, if you have the surgery tomorrow, it will be successful and you will fully recover your health. That's number 1. Number 2, your baby will be born healthy. So these are 2 huge things, and I'm feeling like, the weight of the world coming off me. And number 3 was the zinger. Number 3 was, if you go back, your life will be very difficult, likely for many years, because you are not on your life path. You are not living your purpose. What do you want to do? So, of course, I want more information. I'm horrified to hear I'm 36 years old. I'm horrified to hear I'm not doing the right thing. I'm not on my life path. I'm not living my purpose. So, of course, I ask him, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I missing? What do I need to change? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. What should I be doing? And he just shook his head. And it wasn't unkind in any way, but there was no way he was going to share more information. So I look around at the others and I think, oh, come on, there's got to be a chatty Cathy in the group. Someone's got to give it up. So I'm looking around, I'm looking at my 4 grandparents, and they start being silly. And they're putting like duct tape over their mouths. They're like pretending they're like locking their mouth, and they're throwing the key away. And I'm like, okay, I need to settle down. I'm not going to get any more information. I just need to be grateful for this experience, because it changes everything. Because to feel that unconditional love, it was just mind-blowing. As I said, it changed everything to feel that support was available. And I want everybody to know it is available to all of us. It's part of the human condition to feel alone, abandoned, frustrated, overwhelmed. That's part of the human condition. Ask for help, because guides and angels cannot help us without us asking, because they consider it a free will violation. If we want to struggle through life, we can do that. That's a choice. They can intervene in emergency life or death situations, which was what happened for me. Plus, I do also remember calling out for help. So I think that's what got me that amazing response. And one of the coolest things about being up there with this soul family and soul group, as I mentioned, I saw all 4 grandparents. I knew my mom's parents. I knew my maternal grandparents well. I'd never met my paternal grandparents. My dad's parents, they died before I was born. So to be there and know that they were there for me, and to recognize them, because everyone was just like this white beach ball of light, just this beautiful, everyone looked exactly the same, except the angels were much bigger. I did see wings and they had more light coming off them, but all the soul family, the soul group members, they look exactly the same. But you just recognize the energy, and it's just the telepathy. So they gave me, when I said, I want to go back, because the minute they asked me, all I could see was my toddler. I could see this gorgeous little girl, and it's like, I cannot leave her. And I'm going to have another baby, and I'm going to be healthy. I'm going back. I will figure out the rest, even though it's predicted to be very difficult. I'm going back. I'm going to figure it out. So I told Michael that, and they all gave me one more of these amazing group hugs. That time I realized it wasn't just unconditional love. Not that that's not everything, but it was energy. And they gave me some sort of blessed, amazing, healing energy, because my gas tanks were so low, I'm not sure I would have survived the surgery. So I get this infusion, and then they're like, okay, we believe in you. You decided to go back. That's awesome. And they like turn into cheerleader mode, put me back on the escalator, and I'm like looking over my shoulder, no regrets. And they just wave goodbye, because I know I'll go back when the time is right. Go back down the escalator, and I see my body, and I just gently float back into my body. And it was just that easy to re-enter. And then I could like finally, I like just kind of like put my hands on my heart, and I was like, whew, I can take a breath that this is going to be okay. I may not know the details, but I now know this is going to be okay. So that's what happened. So what happened was I go home. I'm in the hospital a few more days after the surgery. I go home. It's 6 weeks of bed rest. I was weak as a kitten because I was so low on blood and just really needed to recover from this major surgery and everything that had happened. And also, when you're pregnant, that's already taking a toll on the body. So I go back to work. Job I love. I've been there about 3 years, and everyone's, very welcoming and so thrilled to see me. And Wendy, what happened? Well, there's just no way to explain this in the hallway conversation at work. It's just, so I said very little because it was just too big. It was just too big. And I was still figuring it all out.